Here's my review of A Haunting in Venice. I found this to be a very somber, kind of chill movie that I kind of just wish really went for what it was marketing. And with this one of like this being the third part of the trilogy of the Hercule Poirot books. I think I only saw the first one, the Murder on the Orient Express. I didn't see Death on the Nile, but I just checked this one out, and I thought it was okay. And this one is kind of takes a different approach of it being more of a horror, as it kind of deals with more like seances and like the dead. And we're basically following Hercule Poirot in Venice, who is now retired, kind of investigating this murder mystery. And I thought it was fine. Like I enjoyed it, but I just didn't really think that there was anything that special about it. And I just couldn't really get myself invested into too many of the characters to care. And I will say, Michelle Yeoh, for the limited screen time she has, is very good. I mean, recent Oscar winner right here, so I mean, she's bound to be great. And though she isn't in it that much, like spoiler alert, she dies like pretty early on. And man, can I just say I hate when movies do that? Like they market maybe an actor, actress, whatever in the movie, and then they die in the first 10 minutes. That's always just so annoying. But like I said, and then like a lot of this movie is kind of like them solving this murder along with like a was it a murder, was it suicide, what's really happening? And a lot of like seance kind of stuff, and it kind of gives you more of that eerie tone with this also being set at a Halloween party. And I really appreciated like the costumes that you see at the very beginning. I kind of wish you got to see more of that. And I believe this takes place, I believe, in the 40s, 30s, or 40s. So there's a really good, really beautiful aesthetic with like the 30s, 40s aesthetic along with just the Italian aesthetic by the Riviera. I mean, it is a quite a beautiful movie. I would never really say it's visually boring. At least when they're outside. Sometimes when they're inside, it's just kind of like boring rooms that like aren't that interesting. And I think that they could have maybe a little more substance going on. And in terms of the horror, I think that it does kind of like just rely on jump scares. Like have you seen like this dead girl like through almost in the back, like when he's in the bathroom, or like you see her like when the mother is all scared and then you see her in the rain. And I will say like because it's also takes place during a like a rainstorm, I think it really does add to that whole somber feeling that I really enjoyed about it. Like it's a movie that is very kind of chill, but it's also kind of got that little horror kick. But I just wish they went a little bit farther with it, and that was kind of my main problem with the movie. And then you kind of learn about more about the death and like what really happened. But I just didn't really find any of these characters compelling enough to like really care. And I felt like with this movie, the only character I really did kind of find interesting was Hercule Poirot himself. I mean, with him being very timid and kind of like he's kind of like keeps to himself, kind of like small voice. And I don't know, I just found him very interesting, kind of like just the way he acts. I would say like he kind of carries the movie for me. For a movie like I was saying, like overall, like I enjoyed, but would it be a movie I would ever watch again? No. And that's kind of the best way I can describe a movie like this. Is like, oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't watch it again though, but I didn't hate watching it. I didn't want to turn it off when I watched it. So yeah, overall, if you're going into this movie, like this movie, it is visually beautiful. Kind of in terms of characters, not really that deep. Like I don't really care too much about that many of the characters here. And in terms of the plot, I'm like, it's okay. And it's more just like it's got some pretty sets, and some of the costume designs are unique with this being taking place at around in Halloween. And it's more of a style over substance. At least that's what I got out of it. And there's some good twists and turns. Like you find out like they're kind of like trying to explain, oh, did the mother actually kill her daughter? What's really happening? And maybe it's just me, but I feel like I didn't really get a clear answer. I was kind of confused. Like that's what they're implying, but they're also like, oh, maybe she didn't. And that's kind of what I was just a little bit confused about. But overall, I enjoyed this movie. I didn't think it was fantastic, but I thought it was I thought it was decent. It was okay. I'd give it maybe like a, it's like a 5 out of 5.5, maybe a 6. Nothing amazing. It's okay.